Alright, so Cobra Kai season 5 came out a few days ago. Might have been a few weeks ago now, actually. I can't actually remember, but it came out on the 9th of September. Actually, it's the 20th of September right now, so it came out a while ago, actually, now. The start of September, obviously. So yeah, I originally wanted to do is review it. I know people have done this already now, because you don't really have to check out mine. There's already reviews of it online. But I like to do my own little reviews, so let's get into this fucking masterpiece. By calling it a masterpiece probably already spoils on what I'm going to give it on the rating scale. But let me just tell you everything that happened in this show. Or in the season, I should say. So yeah, you don't have to like or subscribe if you don't want to, or hit the little bell, but be very much appreciated. So I can't remember what happened in each episode really. I mean I do obviously, but let's just say for example Robbie and Miguel had a fight, and it happened in. Well, I know that fight happened in episode 5 of season 5, but let's just say if I get it wrong, like I said, it's in season 5, episode 6. So I just want to tell you that I might not remember all the events, what happened in the episodes. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I won't remember everything, and I won't remember what scene comes from which episode. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah. But basically, we really start off the show with just a Cobra Kai ad. Like, Chosen and Daniel are watching Cobra Kai ad because if you don't remember last season, season 4, Terry Silver, which is the man you're looking at on the screen right now, fucking menace. He is a very fucking good villain. He won basically last season, and he owns Cobra Kai now, and he also put away John Kreese, the I guess original owner of Cobra Kai. So he's putting out ads on billboards and mostly TV saying come join us and you'll learn how to kick ass and shit. So that's basically how we just start off the show. And then also, if you don't know, Chosen was the main villain of Karate Kid Part 2. So Chosen's actually, but he's a good guy now. He's going to be helping Daniel take down Cobra Kai for good this time. And Chosen, I'm pretty sure, Chosen was fucking great in the season. He did pop up in season 3, but he still was good in season 3, but he wasn't as good. But I'm pretty sure everyone's saying he carried season 5. He's just so fucking funny in this season. He's just fucking. I love the character of Chosen. He's so fucking good, bro. And then Daniel, he's going through a tough time this season, if I'm gonna be honest. But we'll get to that later by going through the episodes. But basically, if you don't also remember last season, Miguel, he kind of hurt his back again when he was fighting Eli in the last season. He hurt himself and he basically lost the All Valley. He didn't get into the finals or anything. So basically he decided to go to Mexico to find his dad, because his dad left him when he was younger. So yeah, he wants to find out who he is and all, but what Miguel's mother said is that his father doesn't know anything about him, that he doesn't know he exists or anything. So it's gonna be, Miguel knows nothing about his father really. All that only thing he knows is he lives in Mexico. So that's really all. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to cut the video there for a second, but I can't really remember what I was talking about. So I think I was talking about Miguel being in Mexico and shit, trying to look for his father. So yeah, I was there. So let me just continue from that. So yeah, also then, because Miguel has gone to Mexico, Carmen, which is Miguel's mother, asked Johnny to go to Johnny Lawrence, by the way. He's a villain in the original Karate Kid, if you don't know. She asked him to go to Mexico and get Miguel home. And also Robbie, he's not evil anymore. I mean, none of the characters are really evil, to be honest. Well, Perry Silver was kind of evil, but basically Robbie was on the bad side last season, so he's now a good guy this season. And him and Johnny are going to go to Mexico to look for Miguel. So yeah, so that's where they're going in the first few episodes. So then I guess I can talk about some other characters, how they're doing after the aftermath of the All Valley last season. Sam, she was the one who lost to Tori last season because Terry Silver paid the ref for Tori to win the All Valley. So basically Sam won the whole thing last season, but because Terry Silver cheated and paid a ref, Tori won. But Sam is actually kind of the winner of the All Valley. But anyway, because Sam thinks she lost against Tori, her big time rival. They've been rivals since season 2, and yeah, so she's in a pretty bad state at the moment. She's pretty depressed. Like, there's a bit in one of the episodes where she goes into this what are they called, like saunas I think they're called, and she goes in there to relax, but she has like a vision, well not a vision, she has like a little dream of her fighting a dark side of herself. So yeah, she's pretty depressed this season. So that's basically what Sam's all doing this season. And then I guess I can get to Tori. Tori's also kind of depressed this season as well. Even though she, like, you're probably like, why is she depressed if she won the All Valley? Well, last season when she won the All Valley, she saw Terry Silver paid her off, so she knows she cheated and she didn't wear fair and square. So basically, it's kind of sad actually because all Tori wants is a trophy and to show her mother that she won because her mother's like very sick at the moment. So she just wants to show her mother that she won, but she can't really show her if she didn't actually win the fight fair and square. And she's just kind of sad about that, which is, kind of sad. But that's basically what Tori's doing this season. And, yeah, so I guess some other characters then is Eli or Hawk. Well, he doesn't have his Hawk for the first few episodes. He gets his Hawk back later, but last season he got his Hawk. He has no Hawk. Cut off by Cobra Kai. But, Eli's doing pretty good this season. The last couple episodes of the season get really bad for him though, but he started off pretty good. He was the boy champion of the last season. He won the boy All Valley champion, while Tori won the girl All Valley champion. So Eli is the champion of the All Valley, so he's feeling pretty good right now. So yeah, he's doing pretty good. Dimitri, same old. He's just he hasn't really nothing to do this season. But yeah, so. Alright, I'm sorry guys, I have to keep cutting the video because there's like fucking like earbugs, those little bugs that go into your ears. There's like some of them coming from my vent into my room. It's like fucking loads of them. But I have to keep. If the video keeps cutting, just know that I have to kill a few of the bugs that are coming into my room. But anyway, let's continue. So I was talking about Dimitri. Yeah, he's not really doing shit this season. But I will say this though about Dimitri. In my Cobra Kai season 4 review, I said that everyone has. If you guys all know Kyler, Kyler is the fucking I guess you could say main bully of the show. He was he bullied Miguel in season 1. He bullied Eli in season 1. He bullied a bunch of other people, but everyone he's bullied by now has kicked his ass. Even Miguel kicked his ass in season 3 when he barely recovered out of a wheelchair. But basically, I said that Dimitri is the only one that hasn't got his payback yet and beat the shit out of Kyler. But in season 5, episode 10, the last episode of the season, my boy Dimitri kicks his fucking ass. He literally kicks him in the fucking face, and he falls to the ground. He's fucking knocked out. So I'm really glad that everyone Kyler has bullied has already kicked his ass now, even my boy Dimitri. Well done. That's the only thing. Dimitri's a good character now. He has really good lines and all, but that's the major thing that I'm proud of Dimitri for doing this season. But Dimitri, anyways, he's okay this season. But yeah, so that's all going on with him. And then what other characters should I talk about? Oh yeah, Carmen, Miguel's mother. Basically, I can't remember in which season it was, but it was in seasons 4 or 3 or it might have been 2 actually. I don't know. I think it was 2. Never mind, it wasn't 2. It might have been 3 or 4 anyway, where Johnny and Carmen did the nasty in the bed, and let's just say the condom wasn't 100%. You know what I'm talking about. So Johnny and Carmen are having a baby. So Miguel is gonna have a brother. And I guess Robbie is going to have a stepbrother, which it comes in, well, kind of, but Carmen and Johnny aren't married yet, so. But, yeah, I guess I just spoiled what's going to happen in one of the later episodes with Robbie, but yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. That's one of the best episodes. But, so yeah, that's basically everyone so far. There's also Devin Lee and all. She joined Cobra Kai. She was in Eagle Fang last season, but now she's in Cobra Kai. And there's a bunch of other characters I'll talk about when I get to them. So let's just go through the show again. The first fight of the season happened in Mexico with Johnny and Robbie. Basically, in the first couple of minutes, Miguel actually he gets robbed by these surfers. His wallet gets robbed and his money gets robbed. But he does get the location on where his dad might be, so he goes there. But then Johnny and Robbie ask if they've seen Miguel anywhere. They ask him if they see a little kid. And they say yes, and they show the exact way they sent Miguel. But just like Miguel, they try to rob Johnny's purse, or not purse, that's a fucking girl's thing to say. But wallet. They try to rob Johnny's wallet, and but basically because Johnny's a badass. I'm not saying Miguel isn't a badass either, but Miguel just didn't see it coming, I guess you could say. Johnny sees through their scam, I guess you could say. And then the first fight of the season happens with Johnny and Robbie versus the surfer scammer dudes. And because we all know who the main characters are and the better fighters, Robbie and Johnny obviously win because they're little surfer dudes we never met before. So, but basically, yeah. So it was actually a pretty good fight as well. It wasn't that bad. Of course, it's just a little regular street fight, but it was a pretty good fight. Well, I'm not gonna say it was bad. It's pretty good. But yeah, then we have another mini fight. It's not a big fight. It's only a little mini one or two. There's only like one punch and one kick. I'm pretty sure. It's just Miguel fighting this pug because the place where the scammer surfer dude sent them is to this like bar area, and Miguel thinks he found his dad, but it's just this like drug dude, and it's not his dad. So then one of the dude's minions tries to grab Miguel and beat the shit out of him, but Miguel fights back, and then Miguel just leaves, and yeah. So it's not really a good fight. He just punches him and all, and just kicks him to the ground. That's all he does. But basically, yeah, there's basically kind of two fights in the first episode. But then I think this might have happened in episode 2. Miguel finally finds his dad, and he saves his dad's son because he has another son with another wife, and he saves his son from getting run over by a car. And then Miguel's dad invited him over for dinner and shit. So yeah. That happened in like episode 1 or 2. So yeah, that happened. Miguel finally found his dad, but later on I'll tell you what happened to them. Nothing else really happening with the other characters. If I can't, they're nothing's really memorable. The first couple of episodes only kind of focus on Mexico, but then everything goes back to the Cobra Kai shit, and also yeah. Well, actually, one memorable thing is Chosen goes as a mole and he pretends to be a Cobra Kai sensei to go work with Terry Silver, but he's just faking it to see what Terry Silver's next evil plan is. And then Terry Silver, because he's a smart villain, he sees through Chosen's lies, and Chosen is caught. But Chosen knows his next evil plan is to just go beyond the valley and spread Cobra Kai basically everywhere. So they know his next evil plan is, and they're gonna just try to stop it. So yeah. Kenny, he's an alright character. Kenny, I kind of fucking hate the season though. Season 4 Kenny all the way. I just want to say that that's the best Kenny. What Kenny does in the first in the couple of the last episodes, Kenny does something that I don't like, and I'm still pissed at it right now. I'm still very pissed at Kenny. But I'll get to that later. Kenny's basically just still training. He's not doing much in the first couple of episodes. He's still just training and all getting better. He's basically in one of the scenes. I can't remember if this was in I think this might have been episode 6 or something. But I'll talk about it anyway. Basically, Kenny and Kyler are fighting against this Cobra Kai sensei, and because it's a sensei, it's going to be hard to beat. So they get their asses kicked a couple of times. But then Kenny outsmarts the sensei, and because Kyler thinks he's the best fighter in the dojo, he tries to control Kenny, telling him what to do, but Kenny pushes Kyler to the ground, and then he kicks the sensei, beating him, getting a point on him, and then basically Kenny and Tori and Devin are the only people that have got hit on one of the Cobra Kai senseis. So I guess that's one good thing for him. And my bro Kyler is getting his ass kicked by everyone. Even Kenny is a little child. No offense to the kid or anything, but well, he's not a kid. He's definitely a teenager. He's not like 9 or anything. But I'm just saying he's probably older than me, if I'm being honest. But Kenny is way smaller than Kyler is, and he still gets his ass kicked by Kenny. Like Kyler's even been fighting longer than Kenny, and he still gets his ass kicked by Kenny, bro. Like, know your place, Kyler. Please, you've gotten your ass kicked by everyone now. I fucking hate Kyler, bro. But yeah. And then like in episode 3 or something, I'm pretty sure we get a few fights. That I think are just in the dojo, and yeah, so in one of the episodes also, Devin and me, like I said, joined the Cobra Kai. I can't remember. I think that was in episode 6 as well. But let's talk a bit more about Mexico for a second. So basically Miguel sees through his actually never mind. Miguel's dad brings them to this fighting club area to look at a fight in a ring, and yeah, then then also Miguel's dad is named Hector, so I'll be calling him Hector for now. Basically, one of Hector's goons says that there's two people looking for you, and that they're beating the shit out of their men. And basically, those two people are Johnny and Robbie. So Johnny and Robbie arrive to the fight club, and they have a little fight with this like boxer, and yeah, so they obviously beat the boxer down. They kick his ass. I won't lie though, the boxer did put up a good fight. I'm pretty sure he actually bloodied Johnny, and that's a pretty hard task to do, to get a bit of blood on Johnny. But he did give Johnny a bloody nose. But yeah, so then because Hector thinks that Miguel is lying to him, and that Miguel is related somehow to Johnny and Robbie. So he aggressively grabs Miguel, searches his phone, and then he brings him to this like private bar. And then Miguel actually does find out like he's a drug dealer and shit, and that he is a bad person. So then Miguel leaves the bar, and then Johnny and Robbie show up, and they finally got him, and then they move back to where they are. They leave Mexico and they go back to the main story. So that was like episode 4 or something. Actually, no, never mind. Episode 4. That was episode 3. Episode 4 was one of the best episodes, in my opinion. So basically, what happens in episode 4 is the most memorable part. Anyway, is most of the main characters are at a swimming pool area, like a local pool, and actually, I tried to get to mention one of the most important parts. Sam fucking breaks Miguel's heart again, and then breaks up with him like for the millionth time. Even though Miguel bought her a fucking like, I don't even know how much money it was, but it was a lot of money anyway. He bought her a fucking octopus an octopus necklace, and it looked like a lot of money. And if you don't know why you're probably wondering why it's an octopus necklace. It's because octopuses are like their love mascot thing. And yeah, if that makes sense to us. But Sam fucking breaks up with Miguel again. Fuck Sam, man. I fucking hate Sam's character. And she always makes stuff about herself. But yeah, and then Miguel goes off crying, bro. It's sad. But then anyway, the most important part of the episode is the pool party. Well, it's not really a party, but they go to the pool. And Kenny and Kyler and the other Cobra Kai's bully Anthony, which is Sam's brother, sorry. And basically, if you don't know why Kenny and all are bullying him, it's because in season 4, Anthony and his friends were bullying Kenny, and that's why Kenny got into karate and shit. So, but yeah, everyone defends Anthony, but I think Anthony's a really trash fucking character. And if I were Kenny, I would kick his ass every day. I'm not trying to act like a bully or encourage to bully people, but just saying, I would kick his ass every day if I knew karate, and this kid bullied me for like fucking weeks. I would do the same if I were Kenny. So people gotta stop defending Anthony, because Anthony did some fucking bad shit to Kenny. All Kenny does is actually never mind, he flushed his head down a dirty toilet in one of the episodes. But if we look back at season 4, Anthony stole Kenny's clothes in the locker room and made him go out into the school hallway just with his underwear on, which is embarrassing. He put milk in his locker. And also again, him and his friends beat the shit out of Kenny. They made fun of him. They basically catfished Kenny, because Kenny has this little crush at school. And I can't remember what the game is, but in season 4 they play. Anthony and his friends pretend to be the girl he likes at school on a game they're playing, and then he says to meet her at the park, but then it turns out to be just Anthony and his friends, and they beat the shit out of him and make fun of him for dressing up as this fictional character. But yeah, so Anthony deserves everything that comes to him. So fuck Anthony, man. So anyway, he gets kicked into the pool by Kenny, and then Eli sees that they're bullying him, so he goes over to stop the bullying. And then Kenny and Eli have a little argument. They don't fight yet, but they fight later in the episode. They just have a little argument saying shit to each other, and then Tori comes over and shit and says to stop fighting, and then Tori and Eli have a little race, because if Eli wins, then all of Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang get the park, the swimming pool park, and if Cobra Kai wins, which is Tori, if Tori wins, then Cobra Kai get the whole pool park to themselves. So yeah, basically Tori and Eli have a race, and then Tori wins. So Eagle Fang. Well, actually, never mind. They all have to leave at the end of the episode. I'll tell you why here now, because Cobra Kai basically sabotaged Eli's like floaty thing to go into the water. Well, it was specifically Kenny that sabotaged the thing. So then Eli says, "I know this was you," and then Kenny says, "What are you gonna do about it, champ?" And then Eli says that he's not gonna strike first, and because Kenny's in Cobra Kai, he strikes first. So he tries to punch Eli, but because Eli is the better fighter, he dodges the punch very fucking easily. And then Kenny thinks he can fucking take Eli, but he fucking can't. Well, I'll get to the last couple of episodes. But basically, then Kenny tries to punch Eli, but Eli just blocks it, and then Kenny just gets one lucky punch on him, hits him in the face, and then Eli gets mad, and then Kenny tries to kick him, but he grabs his foot, injures his leg, and then Robbie comes over and stops the fight and pushes Eli into the pool. You're probably wondering why is Robbie defending Cobra Kai again? I thought he was a good guy now. He still is, but he just doesn't. Kenny is basically Robbie's apprentice. He thought Robbie was the one who taught Kenny karate, and he was the one who like helped Kenny get through all the bullying and shit. So, but Robbie's still on the good side. He just didn't want Kenny getting hurt by Eli. So yeah. So then, because they started a fight, everyone has to leave the park, and then Miguel thinks Robbie is still in Cobra Kai for attacking Eli. So they have a little argument. They don't fight, but then Johnny comes over to pick both of them up. But then then Robbie and Miguel walk away from each other, and then Johnny's just left-handed. But then yeah. So on to the episode 5, which is one of the best episodes, I guess. So. Alright, so I'll just talk about the most important part in episode 5. To me, this is just the best part. It involves Robbie, Miguel, and Johnny. I forgot to mention. I'm on episode 5, but I forgot to mention one of the most important parts of episode 3. Alright, let me get to that after. Alright, sorry, before we talk about episode 5, I want to talk about episode 3 because Daniel and Chosen find out that Terry Silver is going to call one of his old friends to help out with Cobra Kai. And then Daniel thinks straight away of Mike fucking Barnes, so... Oh my god, yeah, if you don't know who Mike Barnes is, he's probably one of my personal favorite fighters in the whole show. Well, actually, this saga, the Karate Kid saga. He was the main villain in Karate Kid Part 3. And Mike Barnes Mike Barnes in the Karate Kid 3 is a fucking menace. He literally tortured Daniel. He pushed him down a cliff. He fucking, well, it was like a mountain area, but he just bat the shit out of him every day. And he was a fucking menace, bro. Mike was a fucking menace. You'll have to look up the fights on YouTube or just watch the movie to just know what I'm on about, because Mike was probably one of the worst characters ever to Daniel, so basically, anyway. So basically, they think Terry Silver's going to call him to come back, and they do think that he's evil at first and working for Terry Silver again, but then they find out that he's just working at a furniture store and he has his new life now, and he doesn't do karate anymore. And I can't believe they brought him back, bro. But anyway, Chosen thinks that he is trying to attack Daniel and all, and that he is working for Silver. So he kicks him into a table, and then Mike Barnes and Chosen have a little fight in the furniture store, which is a fight I never thought I'd see, because everyone always asks the question which Karate Kid villain would win in a fight. Everyone always says Chosen, because Chosen's probably one of the strongest characters in the whole saga. So basically, no one really wins the fight. Daniel stops the fight from happening. So yeah. But then they find out that Mike Barnes isn't working with Terry Silver anymore, and yeah. So, but yeah, I can't wait. And Mike Barnes shows up in episode 10, anyways, for the finale. But great to see Mike Barnes back, bro. Anyway, let's talk about the most important part of episode 5. Anyway, on to episode 5, but also I forgot to mention, Terry Silver made Amanda, which is Daniel's wife, kind of break up with him for a while, but they get back together at the end of the show. But anyway, episode 5, basically Johnny tries to get Miguel and Robbie to be friends, because there's obviously a baby on the way, but anyway, so Johnny tries everything. He even tries to make them work together. Like, he sets up this little, like, jail area. He locks him in a room, and then they have to try to break out, but then that gets ruined by Miguel's auntie, or I think it's auntie. It might be grandmother actually. I'm not sure who she is, but she breaks in to the door and lets Miguel free and Robbie free, so they just walk off. But then at the end of the episode, Johnny finally comes up with the right answer to make them become friends, and that is to fight it out. So we haven't seen Miguel and Robbie fight since season 2. I'm pretty sure. There was a little of an there was like they still argued in season 3 and 4, but we haven't seen the last time we saw them fight was season 2, episode 10, and that was when Robbie kicked Miguel off the balcony and made him go into a coma for 2 weeks. So basically, we get another Miguel versus Robbie rematch. The fight is epic. They go easy on each other first, but then Johnny taunts them by saying, "I thought you guys were worst enemies and shit." So they start going hard on each other and start beating the shit out of each other, and then and then they fucking go on to this balcony area, and we, like I said a few minutes ago, in season 2, episode 10, Robbie literally kicked Miguel off a balcony, and then Miguel went into a coma for 2 weeks. So it was pretty worrying when they were on a balcony because one of them could have fell off and went into another coma. So we no one wanted to repeat history, but basically they still fought up there. And then Miguel used all of his anger and was about to kick Robbie off the balcony, just like how he did it to him in season 2. But Miguel learns that it's not the right thing to do, and he calms himself. And basically, let's just say Miguel wins the fight. He doesn't finish it, but he basically wins against Robbie. So yeah, and then they finally become friends. So their friendship is one of the best friendships ever. I mean, I'm talking fiction, all right. I mean, it might not be top 10 first, maybe, but because no one will ever be like Jesse and Walter White. They're like the best duo in fiction, in my opinion, anyway. But Robbie and Miguel are one of the best duos in fiction, in my opinion, anyway. So, but yeah, anyway. And then they become a trio in later episodes when Hawk joins their little friendship group. But anyway, so Miguel and Robbie are having dinner. They're having breadsticks, I'm pretty sure. Well, like cooked, but no, I think it was like garlic bread or breadsticks or something. It was breadsticks actually. So yeah, it was breadsticks. I don't think oh yeah, I had garlic bread a few minutes ago actually. But anyway, I don't know why I thought garlic bread there. It was breadsticks. But anyway, so yeah, they have breadsticks, and then Carmen comes in and sees that they're friends now. And then yeah, so Miguel and Robbie are finally friends after fighting that fight out. So no, it's very epic. Friendship is the best. And Johnny is just happy now as well. Basically, Johnny and Daniel, they basically like switched personalities this season, because Daniel's usually like the positive one and the one who's not always like angry and like sad and shit, and usually Johnny the one's that's depressed and shit, and nothing's going right for him. But this season, everything's going right for Johnny and everything is going wrong for Daniel. So they basically just switched personalities this season. But yeah, anyway, on to episode 6, what we'll talk about here now. I've already basically mentioned everything that's happened in episode 6 before. Devin Lee joins Cobra Kai. Kenny gets a land on one of the senses. He gets a hit on one of the senses and knock Kyler to the ground. And yeah, that's basically most things that happen. I guess I'll talk about Kreese in a few minutes as well, actually, so because I have to talk about what happened to Kreese. But basically, the most important thing that happened this episode is Terry Silver, like I said, recruited some new senseis to help out with Cobra Kai. The best sensei is Sensei Kim. She's the best fighter out of all the senseis that he hired. And yeah, they're basically just going to be helping out with Cobra Kai. They're actually pretty good fighters, all of them, but later one of them gets their ass kicked by. I think it was actually that episode. I think it's episode 6 when one of them gets their ass kicked by Johnny and Chosen, which yeah. So I guess I'll just say yeah, Johnny and Chosen beat one of the senseis. So and yeah, so I guess I'll talk about Kreese, because I said last season that he got arrested. Actually, did I say that? No, I don't think I just said that. But basically, Terry Silver framed John Kreese for assaulting someone. For assaulting Stingray, but it was actually Terry Silver that assaulted Stingray, and he just framed John Kreese for it to take over Cobra Kai, the fucking menace. And yeah, so John Kreese is just basically in prison all the season. He's starting fights in there. At first he was trying to act innocent, like he wasn't starting fight to anyone at first because he wanted to get out of prison with good behavior. but he was getting kind of bullied in there by some prisoners. Like they wanted his food every time, but then he just couldn't take it anymore. So he used all his Cobra Kai strength and kicked all their asses because that's what John Kreese does. John Kreese, I don't care what anyone says. John Kreese is one of the best fighters in the show. I just want to say that. But so yeah, he kicked their asses, and yeah. So episode 7, I can't remember specifically what happened in that episode. Oh yeah, they're starting off with a new tournament. There's going to be a new tournament coming out in next season called the Sekai Taikai or something like that. I know something like, I don't know what even it means or anything, but yeah. So the students are going to be training to get into the finals for that. So yeah, and then I guess I'll get to the most important part, bro. I'm pretty sure it happened in episode 8. Let me just talk about it. Fuck. Again, I know I keep changing subject. There's just a lot of things I'm forgetting here because this show is fucking filled with loads of good stuff. But Daniel and Terry Silver actually faced off in one of the episodes. I can't remember specifically which one it was. But basically, Stingray, the person who got his ass kicked by Terry Silver last season, and then Terry Silver framed John Kreese for. Stingray sent an article that's saying to Daniel that's saying like that John Kreese was framed and all. So Daniel goes to Stingray's house and asks him a few questions, but Stingray is living in an apartment that Terry Silver bought him. So there's cameras everywhere, so if he said anything, Terry Silver would fucking kill him probably, so he can't really say anything. But yeah, so so Daniel pushes him to the ground because he's not saying anything, and Stingray accidentally breaks his PS4. One of the most saddest moments in fiction. But anyway, yeah, so basically then Daniel feels bad for assaulting Stingray and breaking his PlayStation, so he buys him a new PlayStation. But then Terry Silver, they're waiting for Daniel at Stingray's apartment, and they have a fucking fight there. We had never seen Daniel and Terry Silver fight before. We've only seen Mr. Miyagi fight Terry Silver, but it was never actually Daniel that went face to face with Terry Silver. So we're finally seeing this for the first time. And because Daniel's at a low point in his life, Terry Silver fucking kicks his ass. Poor fucking Daniel, bro. He's definitely getting one of the worst this season. But yeah. So Terry Silver could easily just kill him there as well. Like he has him to the ground. Daniel's all bloodied up and shit. And Silver literally has his foot on Daniel's neck. He could just step on him at any moment and just snap his neck. But because so it was pretty frightening actually for Daniel. You feel the suspense for him, but obviously Terry Silver chooses not to kill him because Terry Silver likes to inflict pain on his enemies because he's fucking Terry Silver. So before he kills Daniel, he just wants to make his life suffer way more. So he keeps him alive to fight another day, and he goes home all injured and he's knocked out for a while. And then he gets all the students back, and they all train with him. And they have this little training session with Chosen, where they have to fight. Where Chosen has to get these eggs off him and destroy them, and he has to destroy the eggs. And it's a really funny moment. You just have to watch it for yourself to know what I'm on about. But yeah, so that basically all happened. So they're basically just preparing for that new tournament that's going to be coming up soon. So yeah, let me finally talk about that episode 8 thing I was talking about right now. So episode 8. Terry Silver teaches Kenny this move called the Silver Bullet. It's one of the most fucking overpowered moves ever. It's so badass as well. Basically, you do this little pose there thing, and then you hit your enemy in between the ribs, and they can't breathe, so they fall to the ground and shit. So you can't breathe and you can't get up, and also Kenny now knows the Silver Bullet. It's a really badass name, by the way. But then let me get to that fight I was talking about. So basically, the students are going to be trying to fight. They're going to be fighting each other to qualify for that tournament I was on about. So there's going to be a fight between Hawk and Kenny. Hawk now has his mohawk back, kind of. It's like a little mini one. I think it's actually called a faux hawk, but yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. But because Kenny does something really bad. Okay, I'll tell you anyway. You know what I'm talking about. But so basically, anyway, it's going to be Hawk versus Kenny, and then it's going to be Sam versus Tori. But Terry Silver pays the ref again in this little fight. So Tori doesn't want to fight Sam again, so it's actually going to be Sam versus Devin Lee. So basically the first fight is between Hawk and Kenny, and Robbie says to take it easy on Kenny and don't actually hurt him that much. So basically anyway, Kenny lands a point on Hawk, And yeah, he gets a point on him. He shouldn't be able to do that. Kenny is a weak fighter compared to Hawk. Hawk should have been able to kick his ass. But then Hawk gets a point on Kenny, but because Terry Silver paid the ref held it was out of bounds, and it's obviously horseshit. But then, I guess I'll get to the final bit. Kenny fucking uses the silver bullet thing that Terry Silver taught him. He uses it on Hawk, and Hawk can't breathe. He's on the ground, and because the silver bullet is an overpowered thing to use, it's a dirty move, by the way. Because it's an overpowered thing to use, Hawk can't get up, and he's just breathing on the ground. So basically, the ref sees that as a forfeit. So Kenny fucking wins that fight. What a bunch of fucking plot armor, bro. Kenny has a plot armor. People are saying it's because Terry Silver paid the ref. Let me say something. It doesn't matter if anyone paid the ref. And also people are saying he lost because Robbie said to take it easy on Kenny. No, this is basically what Hawk should have been able to do. It doesn't really matter if Terry Silver paid the ref or not. Hawk should still be able to kick his ass. And even if the points don't count, he still should be able to defend Kenny's attacks very easily because he's fucking Hawk. But also about that Robbie saying to take it easy on him. Hawk should be still able to take it easy on Kenny and still kick his ass at the same time. Like, he should be able to go easy on him but still beat the fuck out of him. So, I don't know. The only reason Kenny really won this fight is because of plot armor. Because if one of the Cobra Kai's lost, they can't qualify. Because Cobra Kai are like the main villains, they can't qualify for the fucking tournament. So they have to have one of the Cobra Kai's win, and they didn't want Devin Lee to win against Sam because she already lost last season in the All Valley. So they wanted her to have her redemption arc where she actually beats one of the people this time. So yeah, I'll just spoil that Sam beats Devin Lee, and both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang qualify for the tournament. So they're gonna be all fighting in the tournament. But the only reason Kenny won is because of plot armor. That's all I'm saying. And then yeah, they all go to celebrate. Which if I were Hawk, I don't know if I'd be able to celebrate or not. If I were Hawk and I knew I was a skilled fighter, I would just feel so bad about myself that I lost against a little kid that has no experience at all. Like, Hawk shouldn't have fucking lost that fight, lad. But yeah, anyway, so that's that episode. Then they go to the party, which I'll talk about here now. So basically, they all go to party after they qualified for the tournament. And Miguel, Robbie, and Hawk, or Eli, whatever you want to call them, they're all a good trio now. They're a really good fucking trio. They're all hanging out and shit. And then these random girls that we've never seen before show up at the party. And Hawk said to my boy Miguel, Hawk is the best wingman ever. I just want to say that Hawk is the best wingman. He's like the best friend you could ever have, because Hawk sets up Miguel with the girl, and Miguel and the girl go kissing on the couch. And then Sam walks in on the party, and because she found the necklace that Miguel dropped on the ground that he bought for her after their breakup. So Sam wants to get back with Miguel again. Like what the fuck, Sam? Sam's so repetitive. But then Sam sees Miguel kissing that other girl, and she gets jealous for some reason. Like, fucking make up your mind. Do you want to be with the boy or not? Like, and how is she even crying? She broke her heart. Just let my boy Miguel be fucking happy. Like you're literally just twisting his heart. Like right now, Miguel probably just doesn't know what he wants to do with his life at the moment. But yeah, so Miguel sees that and he goes after Sam. And then Tori shows up at the party after leaving the Cobra Kai event thing, or the qualification thing for the Sekai Taikai tournament thing. And yeah, so Tori says to Sam that you didn't lose the All Valley last season. Terry Silver paid the ref, and she also says that she's been working with Kreese this whole time. And then Sam, for some reason, gets fucking mad that she's only telling her this now. But then Tori makes a fair point, saying that you don't know what it's like in Cobra Kai, that they're very like they manipulate people, and that's actually very tough in there, and they definitely find out and kick her ass if they find out that she's telling her this. But Sam fucking tries to attack Tori for telling the truth, which is so dumb. Like, all Tori is trying to do is fucking help, but Sam tries to kick her ass, and then they stop the fight. And Tori has every right to say this. She literally says to Sam that she says, "Screw you, LaRusso," because like she's just trying to fucking help, and Sam just straight up attacks her, bro. Like, what the fuck? I fucking hate Sam, bro. But yeah. So then all the adults, Chosen, Amanda, Carmen, Johnny, and Daniel go to this party to celebrate Carmen being pregnant, and her going to be a dad, her going to be a mom, and Johnny going to be a dad. And so yeah, they party, and then the kids make a plan to expose Cobra Kai and share the footage of Terry Silver attacking Stingray and share it to the world, and then Cobra Kai will be out of business. And that's how they're going to stop Cobra Kai. And then Johnny, Daniel, and Chosen get into this limo to go party, like, a boys' only night, and they leave the girls there. And so this is a very epic scene. I love the scene. Basically, Daniel, Chosen, and Johnny are in the limo, and the song "Eye of the Tiger" starts playing, and they just start all vibing in the limo. It's so epic. But then they get pulled over. Well, they don't. No, well, the limo driver gets pulls over, and he takes Daniel out of the car. And we find out it's Mike Barnes that was driving the car. And basically, what Mike Barnes thinks is he thinks Daniel was the one who I forgot to mention actually. Terry Silver burned down Mike Barnes' furniture store because Daniel got to him too early, and Terry Silver was actually planning on calling Mike Barnes back, but yes. But anyway, Mike Barnes' furniture store got burned down, and he thinks it was Daniel that did it, so he wants to kick Daniel's ass now. So basically, Johnny and Mike Barnes have a little bit of a fight. They don't have much of a fight, but then Chosen stops the fight and says it wasn't Daniel that burnt down your store, and he says that was Terry Silver. And because Mike Barnes is on cocaine or some shit or some kind of drug, and also Daniel and Johnny and Chosen are drunk, Mike Barnes suggests that they go over to Silver's house and beat the shit out of him. So only Chosen and Johnny agreed to go kick his ass right now, but Daniel says no, they can't just go attack him on his own territory. But because they're drunk and he's high on drugs, they leave Daniel there to go to Silver's house and kick his ass. But then the kids, all like Miguel and Robbie and Tori and shit, they go to the Cobra Kai dojo to share the footage to the world of Terry Silver beating up Stingray. And also then Stingray finds Daniel on the in the woods where Mike Barnes left him, and then basically now Stingray, also Amanda and Carmen are in the car. But anyway, Stingray, Daniel, Carmen, and Amanda are going to the Cobra Kai dojo as well. So because Stingray found out that Terry Silver and the other Cobra Kai members are going there to fight the other kids. So there's going to be a massive fight at Terry Silver's house, and there's going to be a massive fight at the Cobra Kai dojo. So yeah. On to the last episode, which is one of the best, probably my personal favorite episode of the season. So yeah. Alright, anyway, I guess I'll talk about the fight at Silver's house first, because that's like the first one that happens basically. So it starts off with Mike, Chosen, and Johnny arriving at Silver's house, obviously, and then Sensei Kim is there, and Terry Silver is there himself, and then Terry Silver calls the other senseis to come, so the other senseis are there now as well. And then Mike Barnes has a really fucking badass line out. He says, "Classic Silver. He's paying someone to get his hands dirty from him." And then Terry Silver says he doesn't fight for money. He fights for the legacy of Sensei Kim and Cobra Kai. And then Mike Barnes goes, "Well, I don't give a shit what he fights for. I'm gonna knock his ass out." But then sadly, Mike Barnes tries to attack him, and then he gets hit in the head. And Mike Barnes, the whole fucking fight, is knocked out. And it's only Johnny and Chosen versus the other senseis. So while Chosen and Johnny fight the other senseis, while Chosen goes off to fight Silver, actually, Johnny just handles the other senseis. But the other senseis are way too powerful for Johnny, so he kind of gets his ass kicked the whole fight. But he comes back later in the fight. But anyway, Chosen and Terry Silver have a fight. A fight we never thought we'd see, but it's a very fucking good fight. Two of the most powerful Cobra Kai fighters of all time, I'm gonna say. Mr. Miyagi will always be the best fighter in the whole series, though. Mr. Miyagi isn't in the series. He's just in the three Karate Kid movies. But anyway, because the actor sadly passed away. But anyway, so Chosen and Terry Silver are fighting each other, and then they actually fucking get weapons. Terry Silver fucking just gets a sword out, and then Chosen has these little knife things, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Raphael I love the turtles, by the way, just my childhood. But you know, like Raphael that uses the little knife things. Chosen has them weapons. I don't know what they're called, but they both use weapons on each other anyway. And then they go outside into this pool area to fight. And then I also thought Chosen was gonna die here, but Terry Silver fucking slices his back, slices his knee, and slices his hand. Well, not off. He doesn't slice the hand off, but he just slices it and it has blood all over it. So then Chosen falls to the ground, and Terry Silver thinks Chosen is dead, and I think everyone thinks Chosen was dead there, but he later comes back. But then Terry Silver is gonna go to the Cobra Kai dojo, and then there is a fight at the Cobra Kai dojo as well. The members of Cobra Kai are there trying to stop the good guys of getting the footage to the Well, actually, they don't know. Actually, no, I don't think the Cobra Kai members know what they're trying to do. I think they're just called there by the senseis to go beat the shit out of them because they're entering their dojo. But yeah, so I fucking hate Mitch now. I haven't talked about Mitch, Chris, Bert, or Daniel, because they don't really do anything this season. But Mitch fucking betrays his friends and joins Cobra Kai. He was a part of Cobra Kai this whole time. And the only reason he's a part of Cobra Kai is for fucking food, ladies, and fucking swag. And also because the dojo has a roof. That's the only reason and it's mostly for the snacks. It's mostly for the food he joined Cobra Kai. Mitch was always a bad fighter. He was an okay fighter. He was able to go hand to hand to Chris, even though Chris is not really the best fighter either. He's not that good of a fighter. But anyway, so then Kenny talks shit to Robbie. Then my boy Kenny is like all cocky and confident at first, until Miguel just comes up to him and says, "You don't want to do this," and my boy acts all scared. But then because Kenny thinks he's the strongest Cobra Kai character, he strikes first at Miguel, but Miguel obviously easily just dodges his punches, and then the whole fight in the dojo just starts out. So yeah, there's I guess we'll talk about the little fights with Kenny. Kenny, he fucking used that silver bullet bullshit on Robbie. He used it, and Robbie was out of breath, and he was getting his ass kicked by these Cobra Kai members. That shouldn't be able to happen, I bet. But then my boy Miguel swoops in and beats the shit out of like 5 fucking Cobra Kai members at once, and saves Robbie's ass. He even kicks Kenny to the ground. So basically, I remember there was like 6 Cobra Kai members, including Kenny. My boy Miguel is fucking buffed this season. He is so fucking buff. He's probably one of the best fighters in this season, to be honest. But yeah, so then also Sensei Kim shows up and has a fight with Tori. Hawk and Dimitri are in the office trying to download that video to send it to the public, until Kyler and a bunch of other Cobra Kai members come in, and then Hawk and Dimitri kick their ass. And yeah, so then Anthony, he grabs the tablet, and everyone tries to protect him, and they do successfully, I guess you could say. Sensei Kim is, because she's a sensei, she's obviously beating the shit out of Tori. So Tori is just on the ground getting her ass kicked, and then Sam and Tori are kind of friends now, basically, I forgot to say. But Sam swoops in and saves her, and then Devin Lee switches sides. She's not on Cobra Kai anymore, she switches to the good side now, and her and Tori fight Sensei Kim while Sam goes to help her brother. So, yeah. So they have a fight with her, and then Anthony successfully shares the video to YouTube, and then he broadcasts it onto a Cobra Kai TV in the dojo, TV in the Cobra Kai dojo, and yeah, basically so they Cobra Kai all know that they paid the ref last season for the All Valley. So they all know that Tori didn't actually win the fight, and it was Sam that won the fight. So yeah, Cobra Kai all know the truth now. And then at Silver's house, Silver shows up to the dojo, by the way. But and also Daniel, Stingray, Amanda, and Carmen show up to the dojo. And Stingray beats the shit out of a few of the students. Like he's like, before he takes them out, he's like, "I'll take you out this trash." And he's like, no, underrated Sigma. But so basically then, at Silver's house, Johnny is still fighting the senseis, and Mike Barnes is still on the floor, and Chosen is still on the floor. So Johnny is basically the only one still fighting. And he gets his ass kicked. He's on the ground, and a picture of his baby from how they scan the babies inside the mother's belly. A picture of that falls out of his pocket. So that encourages him to keep fighting. So he beats the shit out of a bunch of the senseis now. He's all bloodied up. But then also one of the senseis gets their fucking finger chopped off by a sword, which is pretty fucking badass. But then okay, sorry, I just belched about nothing. But basically then Johnny also then two of the senseis are still standing. He just has to take out two, but they knock him back to the ground, and they're about to finish him with a sword. And then Mike Barnes just suddenly wakes up and kicks the last two senseis' asses. And then that fight is over there. So yeah, basically then Silver's at the Cobra Kai dojo now, and he talks to Daniel saying that you got your ass kicked, you just have to accept that, or he'll kick it again. So then, for the final time, Terry Silver and Daniel LaRusso face off again. It's a pretty fucking epic fight, but Daniel is winning the whole fight this time. He's more balanced now. He's not as depressed as he was throughout the season now, and he uses the Quicksilver method, the thing that Terry Silver taught him in Karate Kid Part 3, which is basically, the Quicksilver method is, a man can't breathe, he can't fight, a man can't breathe, he can't fight, man can't stand, sorry, I got it fucking wrong, it's man can't stand, it's definitely man can't stand, you can't fight, man can't breathe, you can't fight, man can't see, you can't fight. That's basically, I fucked that up so many times, but that's basically the Quicksilver method. So basically, first then Daniel he injures Silver's knees, so he can't stand, and if a man can't stand, you can't fight. And then he uses like the silver bullet looking thing on Terry Silver, and obviously that plays him with the man can't breathe, you can't fight. And then Terry Silver is at like this glass area, he picks up a trophy to hit Daniel with because he's a dirty fighter. But Daniel does the what does that even mean? The iconic crane kick, and he uses it on Terry Silver, kicks him in the face, pushing him into the glass, and he shatters the whole thing. If you guys don't know what the crane kick is, it's one of the most iconic moves in this series. It basically just started off in Karate Kid Part 1 way back in 1983, I think it was. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was 1983. When the first movie came out. Might have been 84. But, basically, Daniel uses that in the first movie on Johnny at the last fight of that movie. But yeah, so Terry Silver's defeated, the Cobra Kai is exposed, and so then Chosen's live as well. Mike Barnes brings Chosen to the hospital place, and Johnny is beaten up very badly, but he's still standing, so and then everyone's just friends at the end, to be honest. I think Miguel and Sam get back together. I can't remember. I don't even give a shit about Sam anymore. But and then Tori and Robbie are still a thing. By the way, I forgot to mention I even forgot myself actually that Tori and Robbie are in a relationship. But at least they're better than fucking Sam and Miguel. Because the only thing that ruins things for me is Sam. That's the only thing. Miguel is a gold character. I just want to say that. But Sam is the only bad character in the show, and Kyler actually. Well, there's a bunch of other ones as well, but they're the two mains. But so then Cobra Kai Season 5 ends on a fucking plot twist. So basically, I forgot to mention in prison, that guy that Kreese beat up, him and Kreese, they're setting up a thing for Kreese to break out of prison. So basically, Kreese has some jelly, or jello, whatever you want to call it, on his side, so the dude stabs him on where the jello is, so it looks like Kreese is bleeding, but it's only jello. So then they think Kreese is dead, so they bring him into the hospital area in the prison, and then because it's only jello, it's not actually blood, it's only jello, Kreese wakes up and beats the shit out of the doctors and the guards that are defending them there. So then Kreese walks out of the prison, because he stole the security guard, he stole his therapist's security card. So he enters he exits the prison, and yeah, then Cobra Kai Season 5 ends. My boy Kreese faked his death 3 times. If you guys don't know, he's faked his death 3 times. This is the 3rd time now. So Kreese is alive and he's out of prison now, and he's probably going to try to retake Cobra Kai in Season 6. So yeah, that's the whole show. I'm giving the show, its personal rating for me is a 9 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5 out of 10. It's a very fucking good show. I recommend you watch it. It's on Netflix, but because I don't want this video to be too long, so well I know it is, but I have to. Hopefully, it's not like nearly an hour long. probably not that long. It's probably like 30 something or 40 minutes. But yeah, so I'm gonna end the video here, boys. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash that button and subscribe to the bell so miss no video I upload, but not to whatsoever, obviously. And yeah, so see you guys in the next one. Peace.